Hello everyone, let's talk about water changes. If you search YouTube, you will see a vast amount of videos with wide variety of suggestions from fish keepers. Some say do 30% water changes weekly, some say 50% every 2 weeks or once a month. Some say you have to vacuum the gravel to remove the extra food and the fish poo that is collecting the substrate. Some say I never do water changes, I just top off. All these suggestions work. Yes, they do. But in the end, it's all about you and what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? I believe fish keeping should be something that brings you joy. You should enjoy having fish and care for them, and it should not turn into a chore. When a hobby turns into a chore, it becomes a job and not a hobby that you can enjoy. I I think doing water changes every week just to make sure your water is sparkling clean turns into a chore, but at least that is me. So, do you really need to do water changes every week or so? I think not. I think you need to get your aquarium to a point where it takes care of itself. And I can get into details on how I set up my aquariums and how I care for them in details in my additional videos. As I speak, you're watching a quick time lapse of my process. And this is all I do. I do not do 30% or 50% water changes. I do not vacuum the gravel. I have 5 aquariums. This literally takes me 45 minutes to complete all at once. This took some DIY ingenuity and some work on my part to get to this point. But I'm happy what I've achieved. A tall 25-gallon on the left, two 20-gallon tanks on the right, a small 2-gallon shrimp tank on the bottom in the center, and a live black worm growing tank under the tall tank. You will see it soon. I grow my own live worms for my fish, especially my puffers. One of them will not eat anything except live worms or snails. I'll show another video on how I grow snails for my puffers. On the bottom left, I have a tub that takes two 5-gallon buckets. As I started filling it up, I also started setting up my DIY drip systems. Those white pipes that you see me hanging on the sides of the aquariums, those are drip systems. I can make some videos and show you guys how I made those. If you're interested, just drop me some comments and I'll be happy to make videos on those too. So I use those drip systems to remove some of the water out of my aquariums into my fish tank on the bottom, or my live worm growing tank on the bottom. This way I don't pump out the water out of the aquarium and then pump new water in. I like to mix the water up so my shrimp in my aquariums don't get shocked. You'll see me setting up my hoses while the tub is still filling up. If you noticed earlier, I put some dechlorinator into the water to start off the dechlorinating process, so I don't have to wait much longer once the water fills up the tub. You can also see those two 1-gallon jugs, one on the top next to the aquarium and the one on the bottom on the floor. Those are my that's how I do the water changes for my shrimp tank. It's a drip system that I made. The water from the top jug drips into the bottom, inside of the shrimp tank, and then it drips out into the jug on the floor. That process takes 4 hours or so. It's a very slow process. This is how you have to do it so your shrimp don't get shocked and don't die. You don't want to change the water too quickly for your shrimp. So the tub is almost ready. The drip systems are ready. The My tall aquarium that you see on the left, I haven't done a water change on that guy for over a year. And the little aquariums, that my 20-gallon ones, my guppy ones, I set them up 6 months ago and I haven't had a water change in them either for 6 months. This is exactly how I do it every 2 weeks. When the water becomes low, you can see there is like an inch water missing from the top. Once my aquarium's water becomes that low, I'll just do the top off just like this. With a drip system, you know, some of the water comes out while I fill up new water in there. So I guess I do a 5-gallon change in my aquariums every time I do it. But this is how it's done, all pretty much all at once, and I don't spend a lot of time on taking care of the fish, or at least on the water changes. I take a lot of time standing around the aquariums and watch my fish and enjoy them, but that's all I do. So you can see the water is I started the drip systems. Now the water is coming out of the aquariums, filling up the fish tank on the bottom. I have an old canister filter that I don't use anymore, so I use that as a pump to pump the water out of that tank. That tank is so low to the ground that there's not enough gravity to get the water out of it into my tub, so I decided to use that little filter as the pump to pump the water out. So now the water from my top aquariums drips into that little aquarium, and then from there it gets pumped out into my shower tub. So now I started the water. I started my little pump. It's pumping the water into my aquariums from the tub. And I'm going to wait until the aquarium fills up to the desired level, and then I'll just shut off the water to that aquarium, and then we'll go to the next, and then the next, and then that's it. So the 25-gallon one, the tall one, is almost ready. You can see some water is still dripping out of it or leaking out of it, but the pump is actually filling up the aquarium much faster than the water comes out. Just double checking to make sure the bottom aquarium doesn't overfill. Wouldn't want any accidents on the floor. Both of the aquariums are still filling up with water, while, you know, some of the water is leaking out from there, just so I can dilute the old aquarium water with the new one without really shocking the fish. There you go, the tall aquarium is done. I shut off the water to it earlier, and I'm going to remove the drip system, and that aquarium is completed. Now the middle one is still filling up. It's almost at the desired level. I had one more bucket ready, already dechlorinated water, and that's the one that's going to go to my third aquarium. There you go, shut down that water. Move the drip system to this second one. Turn it on, let the water go down, and turn that on, let the aquarium fill up. since the pump is too fast, it's going to fill up the aquarium, and I feel like it hasn't diluted the old water enough, so I'll have to stop filling it up, and you will see right now I will stop the water that fills up the aquarium so more water comes out of it through the drip system, and then I'll bring up the water level to the desired level again, and that would be it with my water changes on my aquariums. You will see soon. The whole video is about 13-14 minutes, but the whole process took me exactly 25 minutes from start to end, and I think this gives me more time to enjoy myself. My aquariums are crystal clear. I'll show you guys more videos in the future, how I feed my fish, some close-ups of my shrimp and everything. But 1 year for the left one, the tall one, and 6 months for the 20-gallon ones, and actually almost a year for the shrimp tank. Actually, I haven't done any water changes for my shrimp tank, just like this. Every 2 weeks I do dilute it. It's a 2-gallon one, so I do every 2 weeks I change or replace 2 gallons with the drip system. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 gallon with a drip system. This way it takes about 4 hours for that aquarium to replenish its minerals and to refresh the water, and the shrimp don't get shocked. There is my third aquarium is almost ready. The water in the tub is almost finished. All that water that we dumped from those aquariums went into my live worms tank. That live worm tank gets a lot of ammonia, so this dilutes that ammonia from there, and the water drips out of there or gets pumped into my bathtub, and that is all with the whole process. Close everything up, close the lids, double check the drip system, make sure it's not dripping too fast, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please subscribe and drop a like, and I'll be making more videos on my setup, and I'll show you guys bunch of videos on my DIY systems.